Okay, welcome to my second tutorial on how to access hidden files related to a game. In my first tutorial, I demonstrated how to pen test a website related to a game, dealing with how the launcher collects information, how it downloads files, and then using that to kind of find files that we weren't supposed to be able to download, whether that be through a misconfiguration of a website or the security vulnerabilities on how the downloader collects that information, what information they expose, etc. Well, today we're going to be doing something similar, um, and we're going to try to use some new methods. Now, I've updated my tools since the last time that I made a tutorial, so it's a little bit cleaner, a little bit faster, and this time it doesn't use API keys related to paid services, such as subdomainfinder.c99.nl. And so my tool will basically be using all free web services, using the Wayback Machine, using crt.sh, and I think a abuse IP database website that allows us to collect information about a website. So our target today is going to be called ard.sesisoft. This is a Korean developer, and this is the game that they released. So pretty basic website. Front page, it just shows you how to download it. It has many download options. So you can use Google Play, so that it looks like they have an Android version. They also have a Windows version and Apple. So what we're going to do is we're going to first inspect using Google Chrome. And this is going to allow us to get an idea what is going on with this website. So what I like to do is go to sources, and you can see pretty much all the websites where it's pulling information from. And based on here, I don't see too many websites that seem like it may contain information that would be directly related to this game. These are pretty common websites that are used for loading JavaScript files and a bunch of other web-related files. So, but if you wanted to, check out the URL, you could just right-click on the file and copy a link address, and then paste it, and then you can kind of play around with it. But I don't really see too much information here. So what we're going to do actually, you could do Control-Shift-F, and this is going to search basically everything for strings that you could type. So if we want to say, well, I want to see everything under sesisoft.com, and I didn't really find anything. That's interesting. You could also do API. Sometimes they have exposed API. And yeah, I don't see anything related to this website. It's more like APIs of YouTube and other things. And we're not really interested in that stuff right now. So I'm not really finding anything interesting, but this is a great tool on how you could just quickly filter information so you don't have to manually click on every single web file and go through it all. But it is still pretty interesting to look at the web files because it, like especially JavaScript files, you can contain information on how requests are made, whether it be a GET request, a post, whatever. And then it could also contain information about how to connect to like their developer portals. Sometimes it'd be like, oh, this is our website, and if you add like QA dash next to it, it'll go to the quality assurance website. So there's different branches of the website that you can check out. Places that you're not, normal people are not meant to visit, but it could contain information. There's a lot of comments that are worth looking at, so there's a lot of manual work that you can do just with Google Chrome, which is really cool. A lot of other web browsers have their own inspect tool, so they're very similar. But anyways, we're not really interested in all that, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to, if you see I put my cursor over this button to download the zip file, so they have an executable and then they have a zip. And so if you hover over this button, instead of clicking on it, you can see in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen, it actually displays the full URL. So we can right-click on it and then copy link address. And then we could see where it would take us. So it looks like they're using some kind of in-cloud storage. I assume this is like a file distribution service that's used by many different companies. Could be wrong. I can't connect to the. Yeah, I don't. I'm not sure. I've never seen that before. So, anyways, so let's take a look at the rest. Live CDN, PC launcher, ARD launcher setup. See that there's a 109? That looks like the version of this launcher. What I like to do, especially when people make programs, is they like to include like a version somewhere in the URL. Usually it's just a number. This looks like a version 109. It looks like a version that could be easily incremented. So I know it's trying to get me to download the 109 version, but say if I wanted to change that to version 1 and press enter, would it download it? Access forbidden. Okay, so it looks like 1 does not exist, version 1. But you know, you could increment. You go to 2, and you just keep going up until it downloads something. And the reason why you'd want to start from 1 and go up from there is because you can actually download a really old version, or sometimes a developer version that they never meant to show you, or meant for someone to download. So what's kind of annoying is, you know, sometimes these versions can go up into the tens of thousands, right? And that would take forever to just change this one by one. So what you could actually do is you can make a tool with whatever programming language you want, and basically like increment the GET request to see if there's a file that exists. And by doing that, you can scan hundreds, maybe even thousands within a few seconds. Hopefully this website doesn't rate limit you on requests like that. But that would be a really cool way to see like all the versions that they have. And there might be like a test version or a version they never meant for anyone to download, which can contain, you know, developer files or source code or something really interesting. But we're not going to do that for right now. It would take too long of the video to go through this. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to delete the file name and then just try to access this folder and see what happens. So access denied. It's not liking this. Let's go back one more folder. Access denied. Okay, and then let's try the root. Access forbidden. They really don't want us to access this without proper authentication, which is great because that's, you know, that's how you configure it. But let's take a look. See, copy link address. Here's the full link. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna delete everything from this point. And you see where it says live CDN. So if I press enter, access denied. Now let's scramble this and just see what it says. No such bucket. Okay. So if you if you don't include the correct name of the bucket, then it's going to let you know that that bucket doesn't exist. That is kind of a security flaw in itself, because now I can basically brute force this to see what kind of buckets might exist. right? Because it'll let me know if it will say access denied or if it replies with no such bucket. So it tells me, okay, so I can brute force this and try to figure out, like, okay, what buckets might they have that's exposed public, like if you were to go to it, it would actually list everything in it. I know the bucket that I originally was trying to go to, which is live-cdn, um, it doesn't it doesn't work. Access denied, so I can't access this bucket. But you see where it says live? So a lot of times developers will make different branches of the game. So one will be live, one will be sandbox or QA or beta, alpha, test. There's all these different like common branches that people use, these terms of these branches that people use when they're developing something. So QA would be like quality assurance. So, uh, okay. Alrighty. That is an exposed bucket. That worked. First try. Great. QA CDN. I don't know if this is directly related. Screenshot. It looks like someone's, I don't know if this is directly related to the game. This might be a bucket owned by some other company. Because in cloudstorage.com, that seems like a generic company that would like offer a file distribution service. So if we go back to live CDN, this bucket name might have been claimed by the game developer that we're targeting, but if we go to QA, this might be something entirely different. I don't know if this is related to the game itself. They have screenshots, so I don't know. Let's just take a look at one of the screenshots. Let's see. Ooh, it looks like it is a game. Ooh, this actually might be related to the game. Oh man, look at that. Yeah, I don't know what game this is, but wait a minute. Wait a second. This looks like Lost Ark. Oh man, did I just stumble across? Like I was trying to. Okay, hold on a second. This video might get interesting. Um. Okay, Lost Ark. Lost Ark is a really big game. It's up there as one of the big top games played. And I think I just stumbled across one of their publicly exposed buckets while trying to target this game, which is kind of funny. I guess Lost Ark is developed by a Korean company. Let me see. Wait, is Lost Ark develop? Who developed? I can't type. Lost Ark. Smilegate, a South Korean video game company. So Lost Ark was developed by a South Korean video game company, which makes sense. They're using NC cloud storage, but the fuck? Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so I know that we were trying to find out like files for this game, but this really got interesting because Lost Ark is actually a really big game. So we're just gonna do a little exploring here. Going off topic, but you know, hey, let's see what we can do. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're going to use a tool that I wrote. It's called S3 Collector. And please enter the full URL for the S3 bucket. Okay, so I don't think this is the actual, like if I go to here, I type in the bucket name and I type .s3.amazonaws.com. So no such bucket. Okay, so it looks like QA seeding is not the actual bucket name, but for this site, it is. It's interesting. It's like using S3. It's using Amazon AWS. I don't know. I guess I don't know. This is weird how they have it configured, but okay, whatever. It's exposed here, so we're gonna use this link. We're gonna copy it, and so this tool basically visits this website as we see it now, and it will use the marker to it's truncated is true. Okay, let's see if we can actually use the marker, because if we can't use the marker, then my tool's gonna be useless. Copy. So we're gonna copy the last key that's displayed, and then we're gonna use an API call called marker equals, and then we're gonna put the last key. Marker. So marker does work, but doesn't want to. I guess I don't know if there's. Maybe this is all that's here. Next key is 1,000. Oh, there's probably not 1,000 here listed. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna copy this whole thing, and we are going to. Let me close everything. No tool. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're going to mark everything that has key. All right, mark all. And then we're going to file, or no, search. What are we going to do? We're going to go to bookmark, and then we're going to remove non-bookmarked lines. And this is going to tell us how many keys are associated. Okay, there's only 508 keys, so this is literally the entire bucket. And it looks like they're all JPEG files. But then there's these, whatever this is. I don't know what that is. Let's just take a look real quick. Interesting. Well, 3, okay, let's just open it. Oh, interesting. Plugins, JSON, format. What? Okay, wait, why is this misconfigured? Let's take that away, and plugins, JSON, form, oh, let's compress. Format. Identity, NCP, request ID, internal, server name internal, remote address, storage location, time, finish, start. Container ID. Oh, so give you some basic information about this. What is all this other information though? JSON. Alright, what we got here? Looks like some kind of log file. Public real KR region. Proxy enabled false. Uh-huh. Oh, it's interesting. Yeah. Huh. It was interesting. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to replace that with nothing, and then copy this, and we can just replace this, delete, replace all. There you go. So now we got links. Oh, they got test PNG. This is really funny. I can't believe I just stumbled across Lost Arks, like one of their publicly exposed buckets. I guess this is like their QA taking screenshots. I mean, obviously, this is like some kind of test map, character names 12424. Like, probably just someone see style book. I don't know what's going on. Just doing some basic tests with images. But that's hilarious. Anyways, yeah, so we just stumbled across Lost Arks, I guess, QA thing. But yeah, they only have what appears to be images. Um, they, what's funny about exposed stuff like this is if they're working on a new project, they might even have a picture that displays some information. So this is how you get like leaked files, like images related to an upcoming project. So if they show something in here that they don't meant to be shown publicly, it could be exposed. It could give you some information about it, but yeah, I don't really see much in here, so we're just gonna move on, I guess. Okay, well, anyways, so copy this, close that, put that there. Okay, so that's what QA is. Just for shits and giggles, let's go to dev. Okay, another exposed bucket. ARD. I think this is ARD launcher. Yeah. Oh shit. So I think yeah. So this is the developer bucket apparently related to ARD. So I think this is actually related to the target that we were originally going for. And I'm actually really curious how many. Let's just see what else I got. Test. I got test. Oh, that's access denied. Okay. What else I got? Patch. Nah, that wouldn't make sense. Let's think CBT. Okay, alpha. No, beta. No, I didn't spell that right. Okay. Prod. Preview. Pre. Oops. Okay. Well, we can go all day long trying to look for stuff, but I think we found what we're looking for. So, yeah. Okay, let's try to download this one. This is a zip file. Access denied. Shit. Alright, let's try this one. Oh my god. It works. They didn't protect that. So what happens when you misconfigure shit? And there we go. Back up this folder, but don't ship it with your game. Burst debug information, do not ship. These are folders you definitely want to see because they indicate that they have source files or something related to the game itself. Let's see. Oh, yep, GG. I got the source. Oh my god. There you go. It's a Unity game, so this is Unity source. And I mean, okay, so let me explain. The reason why you want this as a reverse engineer or skilled programmer is because you can go through, this is like a really detailed, like, this is everything. So it'll tell you exactly how the game runs. And you can recompile it doing whatever you want to do. So it's really easy for someone to take this information and just straight up, um, yeah, let's just change the game, into a hacked version of it. You know what they call like when they crack a game or they unlock like developer features of a game or they make it so that you can modify it? Well, this is like the easy version. So you can take the source code and then you just completely modify it, or you can see how it works. You can see how the packets are sent in the game, and then you can make a really easy bot or hack tool because it's all laid out for you. And yeah, so simply, yep. Oh boy. Yeah, there you go. Easy. Well, that was quick. Um, now I'm actually interested. Is there anything else in here? Uh, let's see. Live CDN PC launcher. Okay, well, just to yeah, okay, let's go ahead and download the live version of the launcher itself. So we're gonna install the zip file. So this is the actual. Okay, it's just an executable. Why would they do that? It's dumb. Okay, let's just download the actual executable. Okay, so we're gonna run the executable. Now, what we want to do is we want to run Fiddler as we're installing something because normally you can kind of collect information about how um, the launcher works. And sometimes it'll, like my last video, I showed how you can see how the launcher actually downloads files and stuff. So right now this is just an installer, so we're installing it. Now it's going to run the actual executable. And okay, what is this? So it's under maintenance. Okay. Well, I guess we can't really get much from this, but what you could also do is you could use something called Process Hacker. And we're going to try that out. So Process Hacker is a really great tool for debugging things. You can look at the memory of a process. So we're going to type in ARD, see if we can find it. No, maybe game launcher. Oh, there it is. It's in Korean, of course. So we're going to go to properties, and then we're going to go to memory, strings, and we're going to search. So this is gathering all the strings related to this process. And now we're going to filter the strings and do something that would make it easier for us to find stuff that's hidden inside this process. So if we want to see maybe like websites it's visited or it has loaded in its memory, let's just type .com. And so it gives us a whole list of like strings related to, websites. We got some GamePot, Intra Studio environments. So this is like kind of how you can find stuff related to, the company or the target. Interests, huh? So this really helps you expand like what you can look at. what websites you can target. Um, and you just kind of have to use common sense to stay within scope. So you don't start hacking some random website that you think is related to the target, but it's really not. Because there's a lot of like fluff in here that, like Google, like obviously we're not gonna hack Google, or YouTube, or Microsoft. But it gives you an idea about how this, you know, what information could be hidden inside a process or executable. Um, okay, so what we're going to do is, it looks like some of these are kind of interesting. I'm going to take a look at this real quick just to see what is, oh, another exposed bucket. Would you look at that? Oh man, they're just really bad with exposing their shit. Ice, Android, Desert Boss. So it does sound like game files. Bundle. Oh yeah, I think these are game files. Interesting. Live CDN. Yeah, this is related to the game. Um, and they keep calling their buckets live CDN, but that's not the actual Amazon. They're using Amazon AWS, but their bucket name is not exposed, because otherwise we could just go straight to the direct bucket. Um, okay, so what we're gonna do, I wonder if next marker. Let's see. Let's just see if it works. Marker equals. No. Damn, that sucks. So we can't. Okay. So we can't really go through their entire stuff. Because one, we don't know the actual bucket name, so we can't go to Amazon AWS and access it. And we don't even know, even if we did find the right bucket name, is it accessible, right? Because here it's exposed using this link. But if you go to the actual source, it may actually say access denied. But this website right here has the keys to access the bucket. So that's why we can see all this. So bundle. See, these look like 0.009. So that gives you an indicator of what patch or version of the game it has files for. And 009 may be the, oh, it starts at 0010. Yeah, I mean, these are, it looks like a really old version of the game, which may contain sensitive files. I mean, I'm not complaining because we already got the source code, but this looks like things related to Android version of the game, whereas we have the source for the PC version, which I prefer. I don't really want to mess with Android stuff. But okay, what we can do is type .zip. Seems to be an archive they use. Nope. Okay, .json. Catalog. What is catalog? I like JSON files. They usually contain some pretty good stuff. No, that's not working. Why is that not working? Addressable, JSON. Huh. Doesn't want to give me that. Interesting. Maybe if I do that. And then no. Okay. I mean, yeah, that's cool. We found another exposed bucket, but we're not really getting too much stuff other than these bundle files, which I'm not even sure I can actually download. It seems like I can't find these files. Yeah, no such bundle exists, or file. I don't know why I can't download them, but either I'm missing the proper authentication to download them, the fact that it's even exposed and it's displaying what files are there, it's kind of funny. Just all bundle files. Yeah, I think these are like patch files for like the Android. Uh, and you can see the versions it's going down to. Kind of interesting. Oh, let's take a look. What else we got? Is that exactly the same? Yes, it is. Okay. Intrust. Looks like they're using Intrust. What is Intrust? Intrust. Keynorush. I don't know what Intrust is. And then they got GamePot, whatever that is. Plugin. So this is like a website they're using for something? GamePot. KR object. Yeah, we've seen that before. It's like a terms and conditions. Access denied. Ooh, what if we do GamePot CDN? No. But just GamePot. Access denied. Interest, maybe? Okay, well. Anyways, yeah, so you can use Process Hacker to go through all these links. Another cool thing you can do is you can do filter like GET request, which we don't really see any, and then post request. Don't see any. It's probably not making any requests because obviously it's under maintenance and it won't allow us to do anything. But another thing I'd like to do is do HTTP, and then that will give you a pretty good idea on a lot of URLs that you can visit. Oh, they got studio environments. Ooh, I kind of want to check that out real quick. Huh. Nothing. Server error. Hello world. Okay, so another thing we can do is we can use Directory Buster. It's a OWASP tool. It's great for brute forcing and sniffing out directories within a website or URL. So we're just scan it really fast, and we're gonna use directory list lowercase 2.3 small, which is basically just a whole bunch of lowercase random words and names and stuff. And we're just gonna brute force. So it's basically going to look. It's just going to put a whole bunch of random words and strings at the end of this URL to see if it's an accessible folder. Whereas v1 is accessible, so it says hello world. Well, this is going to tell me if there's anything other than v1. So start. And it's really good. So we see health is one. True. Interesting. Currency. Cannot read properties. Undefined. To uppercase. So API docs. Ooh. Don't tell me. Oh, fuck, they have an exposed API. Okay, so real server. Oh no, beta. Oh, dev. Man, this is bad. I'm on fire right now. Oh, GamePod.io. There's another target. Intrust. Plugin. Localhost. Dev server Korea. Real server. This is dealing with authorized. Okay, so you do have to be authorized for some of these, maybe. Maybe not all of them. So the thing about API docs is, oh, this is so bad. Okay, wait, leaderboards. I don't know, let's execute. See, okay, so the cool thing about this is API docs allows you to test out their API. Um, so leaderboard. So basically the way this works is leaderboards. So if I were to copy this whole thing, go here and type in leaderboards. See, API not found. Okay, well. Anyways, this is the body of the request it's making. So if I send just a GET request with no body, then it's probably going to give me this like it doesn't understand what I'm trying to do. But if you include the correct body, which requires the right parameters, then it will give you, the correct response. So here, since I never included a body, API not found, it's probably like, like I don't know what you're asking because you didn't include all the details that you need to include in your request. But here, it will automatically do that for you. And if you really want to see how it works, since I'm capturing a fiddler and execute, and go back to fiddler, you can see exactly what request it made and how it did it. So this is the inspect raw. This is how it made the request. This is all the this is all of the headers that it has, and it has a cookie, and so this is how it's making its request. It's using this API call created at equals -1, and offset equals 0, and per page equals 20. And once you send it with this, I don't know if you need all of these. You probably don't even need all these headers. Let me just get rid of all this stuff. We don't even need to do that. All right, let's just see if it works with this. Yeah, so you get the same response. So basically, all you really need is these query strings. And then you actually get the correct. Oh, but it's sending to GamePot interest, yeah. Okay, well, anyways, that's really interesting. This is really funny that we have the exposed API because now I can see exactly how their website works. So finding exposed APIs is really good because you'll find requests, like for the requests that we just made, I don't think requires a authorization. See right up here when you do authorization, this is like the header name, it's X API key. So pretty much it would put that right in here somewhere, your X API key. So when you make that request, the server will say, does he have an X API key? If he does, is it correct key? And if it is correct, then you're like, okay, you're authorized, and then you can do whatever API call that you're making. But it seems like this API list doesn't necessarily, like all of them do not require the API key, which is good. There might be some test API keys in here which allow you to do some really cool stuff. Like find item, what is this? Execute. Data stores. Namespace. Test. Interesting. Namespaces. ID 1. Server error. I think whatever this is, it's not really working correctly. Like builds. Ooh, I want to know that. Ooh, what's this? Steam, Xbox. Oh my gosh. Development. Ooh, I like that. Android. Server error. You know what? Let's go to the top and change this to like beta. And then try it. Where was it? Server error. Maybe because I'm not authorized and it's giving me errors. But anyways, yeah, so you could just keep going. Like I'm not going to extend this video any longer than it needs to be. Um, testing. And I really wish these APIs would work. Build this, but it gives us an idea how their API does work. Let's take a look. Is it actually okay? So it actually does change because I changed it on the in the UI. Okay, good. Well, let's try dev. Maybe this will work. I don't know. Will it? Query. Oh, this works. Oh God. Okay. Oh no. Wait, they gave you stack error? Is authenticated. X project ID is empty. Oh man, they give you stack errors. Okay. Oh no, this is not good. I gotta see something. Items, item ID, find get item ID, 1. What is that filter? I don't know what that means. Um, let's just go down to something a little more easier. This. Okay, well anyways, so this one actually exposes errors and you actually see like files that it's using. So this gives you exposed information about, API error, and project X project ID is missing. So you need that as, can you add a parameter? Project ID. So that's something that you need is a project ID. Project ID is empty. What project IDs? Is there something that gives me a list of product IDs? Maybe that's why it's not working on the live version. I gotta see something. Let's see something. So project X project ID is empty. Oh, okay. So if we go down here, we're just gonna add a header, call it project ID, and then do 1 for shits and giggles, because I don't really know what project IDs there are. Authentication error. Oh, okay, now we're doing it correctly. Um, okay, well, let's try this one since this is a server error. API not found. Okay. Okay, so yeah, that's what it's missing. For some reason, you have to include project ID. Authentication error. What if we just don't include a value to that header? Okay, project is empty. So it can't be empty. Empty is not good. Yeah, authentication. Okay, so this one requires actual authentication. Okay, latest platform. Let's just do release. Maybe that would be fine. Are we recording? No, we're not. So let's just change this to release. Maybe that would be, oh, you still need authentication. Okay. Okay, fine. But some of these may not require any kind of, oh man. I mean, the fact that this is exposed, like you could really keep expanding. And if you ever got the authentication ID that you need, then you'd be able to really access some really interesting stuff. Build ID versions, version files. Oh my gosh. Download list of all the meta. Okay, let's just try it. See what happens. Again, project ID. Okay, so we're recording now. Let me cancel all this stuff. Okay, and then we're going to execute. And this is the request it made. Okie dokie, and then we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to add project ID 0. Oops. All right, let's just do 1. Authentication error. Okay, so yeah, all these require authentication. You can go one by one just to see if it actually requires authentication. There might be something in here that it doesn't really care. Gives you all the regions. Dedicated P22 cloud. Shoot. I mean, this is exposing a lot of information for an attacker like me to kind of go through here and see what's what. Um, mhm. API not found. Create a game server. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is definitely for the developers to interact and mess with their stuff. But if you find a link that uses the same API system as this, like it looks like they got like, it's funny they got localhost. Yeah, how does that work? It's not, yeah, because it tried to go to localhost. That's funny. So yeah, they exposed their developer plugin, gamepot.io, intrust.com. So these three URLs apparently use the same API. It looks like they do. But yeah, if you could find one of these or some other link that's not listed here, which uses the same API that doesn't require authentication, then you could like really expose a lot of more information. But I mean, it looks like for using this, you can actually, based on the project ID, if you had the right authentication, you would be able to really fuck with your servers. Um, and who knows what you could do with that. But okay, well, anyways, we went over Director Buster. We went over Process Hacker to collect information on a process, live memory reading, um, and and we did a lot of guessing on the URL, which kind of led us to the developer um, exposed bucket, where we got this guy, copy. So this is the developer build, and we got the source code of the game. So yeah, I would say that was a success. Um, yeah, we basically were able to get access to all the files that we need. We can now maybe recompile the game as we see fit. We can literally throw in hack menus in the game, so when it loads up, you know, it would just load up a hack menu. You know, you could do all kinds of crazy shit, and you have to learn how the game actually is programmed and how it works. Probably understand Unity. But yeah, there you go. That's how you pretty much gain access to files you're not supposed to have. I even showed you how to look at the QA stuff for, I guess, Lost Ark development, which is really interesting. I wasn't even trying to target that, but it just kind of happened. So that's the thing. When you're kind of looking at this stuff, you want to use all the tools um, that are available. Process Hacker, really great for, kind of testing things, debugging, and, reverse engineering, exposing things that's never meant to be exposed. The cool thing about programs is when you actually go through the memory, you're going to find a lot of stuff in here that they left in. So they left in things like when they compiled, like from their development, um, they're going to leave a lot of stuff in there. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. I will be making more tutorials later down the road and kind of giving you guys some more tips on just, pen testing, looking for files you're not supposed to have access to.